Now let's meet the candidates for SGA Director of Administration. Coleman Norris is a junior biomedical sciences major from Dothan, and Allie Higgins is a sophomore biomedical sciences major from Oxford. Coleman Norris, you have 1 minute to introduce yourself.
My name is Coleman Norris, and I'm a junior biomedical sciences major from Dothan, Alabama. I look forward to using this position this year to represent you and let you know that I'm coming from a student body's perspective. There are approximately 14,000 Troy Trojans enrolled on campus this year and only about 46 SGA senators. I plan to use this position to implement ways to improve both the administration and the communication between these numbers to better represent you. Thank you.
Thank you, Coleman. And Allie Higgins, you have 1 minute to introduce yourself.
Thank you, Taylor, and thank you to TrojanVision for hosting us tonight. It's very exciting to be here in the new studio. Like she said, I'm Allie Higgins. I'm a sophomore biomedical science major from Oxford, Alabama. Throughout this past year at Troy, I've had the opportunity to serve in the SGA Senate, representing the women of Sorority Hill, as well as serve as an executive officer of Trojan Ambassadors. Given this opportunity, I'm very excited to run for Director of Administration. I look forward to bridging the gap between Troy Student Government Association and Troy students. Thank you.
Now I have questions that each of you will answer, and you'll answer the question in reverse of the order which you introduced yourselves, starting with you, Allie Higgins. In terms of how SGA currently works, how would you improve the communication both among members and with the student body?
Thank you, Taylor. My hope as Director of Administration mainly is to improve communication between students that are not involved with the SGA and students that are. I think that there is a wide gap and a lot of miscommunication. I think communication is a big issue that we have here at Troy that definitely needs to be resolved. As Director of Administration, I would hope to use social media platforms and our minutes every week to give students a better idea of what's going on in the SGA, because as a Student Government Association, it is our job to represent the students and that they need to be well aware of what we're doing. Thank you, Taylor.
And Coleman, you have 1 minute to answer that same question.
Thank you. My freshman year, I was on the Freshman Forum Committee as in the Trojan Pride and Traditions Committee. I wanted to take a year off of the SGA after freshman year to really see what the campus looked like from a student's perspective and what SGA looked like. I gained a lot and I learned a lot about this just from the standpoint, and I could really see where the SGA excelled and where it lacked. And I plan to implement ways of really just improving this as a whole. Thank you.
Thank you. For your second question, immediately before we began, each candidate drew a sealed envelope at random containing a question pertinent to the office for which he or she is a candidate. Now we'll hear those questions and the candidates' responses. And the first one is for you, Coleman. In your opinion, what is the most important responsibility of the Director of Administration?
Thank you. I definitely think the most important responsibility of this position is effective communication. The Director of Administration acts similar to a secretary for the Senate, condenses the minutes, sends those out, and really knows how to communicate between the student body, the Senate itself, and the higher administration. I could carry this out because I believe I would succeed in communicating widely between all of these groups, but could also be someone that the students feel comfortable approaching if they have something that would continue to keep things running smoothly and effectively. Thank you.
Thank you, Coleman. And now, Allie, your question is, what, if any, initiatives would you take as Director of Administration that past directors have not tackled?
Thank you, Taylor. Something I hope to implement as Director of Administration is giving students a weekly copy of our minutes from our meetings and the weekly email of what's going on around campus. I had a good friend tell me yesterday they had no idea what it is that we do in SGA meetings, what we pass, the bills we pass, the clubs that we allow to be on this campus. So I think that giving students a weekly look at what's going on would definitely get them in the loop more as to what we're doing as a Student Government Association. Thank you.
Thank you, Allie Higgins and Coleman Norris, your candidates for SGA Director of Administration.